Do you want to create an engaging video for your brand? In this video, I'm going to walk you through my process and provide you with free resources so you can follow along. Video is one of the most engaging touch points that your brand can have. You can tell your brand story in almost any way you can imagine as long as it fits into your budget and schedule. Over the next couple minutes, I'm going to show you how to plan and storyboard one of these videos by using Votech as an example. Before we get started, I want to let you know that you can download these templates for free on my website at brycetufts.com under the Resources tab. Today you're going to want the video planning template, and you're also going to want the storyboarding template. Now these templates are very important because they're going to get all of our ideas and details on paper before either developing this ourselves or delegating that onto somebody else. Right now we're going to start with the video development template. So right away you can see above here we've got a spot for your title and all of the project details to sit here so we can keep track of that. Now the first thing we want to record is the video's goal. We want everyone to have an idea of what we're trying to achieve. So for the Votech video, I've said that we want to show off the engineered quality and features of our helmet. So as we're developing and creating this video, we're just going to make sure that every decision that we make focuses on that goal. Now the next up is the type of video. So there are a lot of different types of videos, from promotional, campaign specific, testimonial. This is just to get a good idea so everyone knows exactly what we're making. So the type of video I'm making here is a promotional video because it's both promoting the brand and the product. So the next up is the target audience. So if you've been following along with this series, you'll know that we're going to target the Votech target customer, which we discussed in a prior video. So we are actually going to further break that customer down into specifically those that are early in the buying process and people that don't know we exist. This video is specifically targeted to educating people early on in the process of what we do, why we're special, and getting them involved and hopefully buying later. Now next up is key messaging. So what are the main points that we want to convey during this video? I said that I want to convey that Votech helmets are top quality and built for high-end riders. Next up here we have the distribution method. Now this can be important when we're considering the video specifications. So I've said that this wants to go on our website, social media, and maybe be presented at some sales booths. Now the next question we want to ask ourselves is, how long should the video be? I'm going to keep mine very short because it's going to exist on digital platforms where people have short attention spans. So I'm going to keep mine down to 15 seconds and just pump it full of quality. Now the next step here, just to get everyone on board with our creative direction, we're going to talk about the feeling. So what feelings are we trying to get out of our audience? For this video, I've said that I want a feeling of quality. I want people to feel that we have high production standards and that we use high-end materials. After feeling, we have pacing, and pacing is just going to be the speed at which the video is taking place. So a fast-paced video is going to be shot, 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 maybe with some music that's moving along very quickly at a high tempo. For a slower-paced video, we might linger on shots more, have some music that kind of draws out, really get people to experience it. In this video, I want it to be fast-paced. I really want it to, go from thing to thing to thing, but I want to take enough time that people can take in the details of what I'm trying to communicate to them. Next up, we have the copy, or the messaging that we're trying to communicate to people. Now, this is really up to you. How detailed do you want to get into this process? I just went ahead and outlined what I want the narration to say. So I've said, at Votech, we know that this class of rider can have nothing less than the best gear. Introducing the Raven H11 modular road helmet. Our tagline, for the ride of a lifetime, for a lifetime, Votech. And then I also indicated that I want to show the technical specifications on screen. Now the next section here is going to further elaborate on that and talk about what these technical specifications are. So I've listed out that we're going to talk about the modular design, 3 easy configurations, high velocity shielding, shadowproof face shielding, micro-laced air intake vent, breathable airflow, and comfortable impact absorbing lining. Next up here, we have our imagery. So what visuals should be included in the video to make people engage with it? So I've said we're going to do a 3D recreation of the helmet inside of a void, and we're going to have effects integrated with that to show off the different functions of the helmet. Next up is music. So is music going to be incorporated in the video? I've said yes. And what type of music? I said maybe heavy beat, impactful, high contrast, so maybe some big hits, and then some slow beats, and then another big hit. So next up, we're going to talk about text on screen. This is especially important in social media if people don't have their sound on, to put your key points as text on screen. I'm not going to put anything extra. I'm already going to have the technical specs on there, so anything more than that's going to be too much. Next up is hired talent. So I've indicated that I want a voice actor. I want this to be a male in his 30s or 40s. I want him to have a low, exciting voice. Another important thing to talk about are the structural components. Who are we going to need to bring into this video? What kind of software are we going to need to use? We're going to need to take these things into consideration to make sure that we have a jump on our planning. So really the only thing I need to take into consideration here is the 3D software that we're going to be modeling this and shooting it in. Now as a follow-up question to that, we're going to ask a question about coordination. Who's going to tell who's going to provide who with what assets? In this case, it's just going to be me working on this, so I don't really need to list anybody to be coordinating any specific part of this video. But it's very important to have that if you are working with multiple people so everyone knows what their responsibilities are, who needs to get who what. It's going to make that process a lot more smooth and save you a lot of time. And lastly here, we're going to outline our timeline. So when will this project begin to start? I've said it's going to start next week of September 2021, and the desired delivery date is going to be the end of August. I've kept this very loose because it doesn't matter for me. This is a YouTube series. I can deliver this whenever I want. Your project might have a very strict timeline. You might have a deadline that you must hit. Make sure you indicate that here so that everyone knows what that deadline is and they can schedule appropriately. Now that we've finished our video development sheet, we're going to move into the storyboard. What a storyboard is the specific instruction for every single shot within our video. A storyboard is extremely important so that everyone knows what the different shots are and what resources they have to get ready for that shot. Now, if we look at the storyboard here, you can see it's divided into several sections. Above, there's an empty space if you want to sketch out what you envision the shot looking like. I'm not going to do this in this video, but it can be very helpful if you're trying to get multiple people on board with what a shot's going to look like, so you can get that vision out of your head and communicate it to others. Now underneath here, we've divided that into the shot, action, camera movement, location scene, messaging, and then I've added the narrator at the bottom. In the shot section, we're going to identify what the camera is doing, how far away it is, what it's focusing on, if it's doing any focus adjustments. That's going to be all of the camera's details. In the action section, we're going to want to identify what's happening in the scene. What's moving, what's interacting with what's happening, what are we shooting? And that leads us to the camera movement section. How is the camera moving in relation to the action happening in the scene? Next up here is the location and scene section. I'm not going to be using this in this video because it's all going to be shot in a 3D world. However, in many videos, we will be changing locations, we will be changing scenes, and it's important to indicate that here. Now, next up is the messaging. So what's going to be on screen or spoken during the time of the shot taking place. So with all the different sections described, I'm going to take you through my storyboard and show you my thought process when thinking about this video. So here in our first shot, I'm going to start with a medium shot of the helmet in a void, and we're going to hear a motorcycle driving past in the background. The action is I'm going to have the helmet slowly rotate. And the camera movement, I'm going to have it zip to the helmet, then slowly orbit it. Now, I've already said that the location and scene is just going to be in this 3D environment. That doesn't matter as much. I'm not going to have any on-screen messaging here, but I will have the narrator start to say, at Votech, we know that this class of rider can have nothing less than the best gear. For the next shot, I'm going to do a far away shot of the 3 configurations of the helmet. The action is that the helmet is now going to split into the 3 different configurations, and the camera movement is it's going to fly around the helmet, then slowly orbit around the split options. The messaging text on screen is going to say 3 easy configurations, as the narrator says, introducing the Raven H11 modular road helmet. In the next shot, we're going to do a close-up of the helmet's shielding texture. The action is we're going to see that texture and maybe do a bool effect, I'm not sure yet. For the camera movement, we're going to fly up close and then slowly orbit it. And the messaging is going to say high velocity shielding. In the next shot, we're going to get a close-up of the helmet's face shielding. We're going to see all the detail there, and the messaging is going to say shatterproof face shielding. In the next shot, we're going to do a close-up of the helmet's air intake vent and do a slow focus pull on that vent as the camera is slowly moving past it. The messaging is going to say micro-laced air intake vent. Then we're going to shoot back to a medium shot of the helmet as all of the air vents expand out of it, and we're going to use some animation to show air moving through those air vents. The messaging is going to then say breathable airflow, and the narrator is going to say for the ride of a lifetime, for a lifetime. The next shot's going to be another close-up of the helmet's lining texture. The camera's going to slowly zoom around that as we're doing a focus pull, and the messaging is going to say comfortable impact absorbing lining. And this is going to lead us to the last shot of the video. We're going to go into a medium shot of the helmet while the logo animates on top of it. The camera movement is going to zoom out and then slowly dolly away as the narrator says, by Votech. So this is my vision for the video, and I've created the storyboard to explain that vision to everyone else that might be working on this project, or just to myself, so I have something to follow when I'm animating this. I also, through the storyboard, now have a script that I can use when I hire the narrator and bring him in. As I mentioned before, I'm going to take all of these details now into the next video where I produce this entire commercial and show you how I do that. If this video was helpful to you, please leave a like, and if you have a question about this process, please comment it below and I'll get to answering it. I hope this video was helpful to you in developing your videos creative, and if it was, please leave a like. If you have any questions about this process, please comment them below and I'll get to answering them. This video is also part of a series of videos where I'm developing this Votech brand from start to finish, taking you through that process and giving you free resources that you can use for your brand. If you'd like to keep watching this process, please subscribe to the channel and I'll be posting a video each week. Also, as I mentioned before, I have a library of free resources on my website at bricetufts.com under the resources tab. There you'll find workbooks, worksheets, and guides to help you along your branding process. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you watching it. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.